and I got home at like 3, and I was like, I'm gonna take a little nappy. I'm just gonna take a little nappy. And then I woke up at 9 p.m. and I was like, yesterday was awful because yesterday was when I woke up at 4 a.m. for the update show. And by the time I got home, I was actually a walking corpse.
Not a better time than the present. Folks, welcome into the Proxy podcast, everybody. We're so back. I remember 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago, we said that we were so back. And is your favorite 3 little stooges.
That's the name of our group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Just to quickly go through introductions, of course, we have Miss Agekk, Mr. Azrial Vanity, and yours truly, Mr. Jshoea. How's it going, everybody? We got a lot to talk about, folks. You know, I do want to apologize to Age a little bit because I was like reading the comments from our post-program podcast, and people are like, "Yo, Age is about to sleep," or Age is like. Age is like,
were you falling asleep?
No. Age is just like
they talk about meta, and then you know me, I can't contribute to the meta talk.
Yeah. So I was just 5 minutes in then. Because 5 minutes in.
No, literally like 30, like an hour into the podcast, like we mentioned the story, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I can talk a little bit about the story, and they're like, nah, we need ads for this.
I told chat because I felt bad. Yeah. There was one time that we tried to do a pod. It was very similar, and I was like, the moon. It was when Isolda. It was the one with like literally the 2.2 dev stream. You tried to do another podcast.
Yeah.
And I was also there for like barely none of it. And then I left and I felt bad about that. And then when I was in Japan, the day I was supposed to fly back, you had a whole collab set up that I didn't even know what's happening. They didn't even know what's happening. And then you told me to join VC. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'll join VC. Because it sounded like the way that you had it set up is that it was going to be like something super quick. And I was like, oh, I have like an hour.
I mean, it was like, super quick if you think about it.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But you guys, I was like on the plane by the time you guys finished. Anyway, I left halfway through that. And then I was watching. And then you guys started arguing about who was getting my points. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't want to do this. And then I felt bad that I left halfway through. I felt like I like ruined the minigame. And then you invited me to the podcast this time, and I told chat literally on that stream, I was like, I'm never gonna do that again.
No, in reality, the reason why we like start so late, and for those of you who are like, yeah, Josh, like, why don't you just start right after? It's because all of us are like doing like Twitter posts, we're doing YouTube posts, like, so that's why a lot of us were halted for like 30 minutes post special program, and then that's why we started so late.
Yeah, I mean, for context, for all the quick context for all of the audio listeners is yesterday was the Zenless 2.3 special program, and then after that we had a podcast, like a mini kind of discussion podcast. So then all of the stuff that Az was talking about just now is just kind of like in reference to having to leave early for that. Chipotle. Az just got some Chipotle.
This is about to be the widest Chipotle order you've ever seen.
What are we having?
It's literally a white rice bowl with steak. That's literally all it is. I just needed protein. That's literally it.
I've never had Chipotle,
white
actually.
Rice and steak.
Wait, there's no Chipotle in the Canada
I'm not sure.
ones?
I mean, it's not very common if there isn't. If there are any here. But I just personally have never eaten from Chipotle, so.
Okay, we'll make a fast food list that we'll hit when you're down here for TwitchCon.
Oh yeah, I heard. Was it In-N-Out or was it
In-N-Out?
one of the?
In-N-Out is
couple.
ass.
There's a couple.
Oh, it's ass. Wait, there was one that I was recommended, but I can't remember the name of it.
Was it Cane's?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's either
I think it was a burger place.
Oh, burger place. No, not Whataburger, right?
Could be Whataburger.
It might have been. It might have been Whataburger. Is Whataburger good or bad or?
It's pretty fast, but it's one of the only places that's 24/7.
Yeah.
So we eat it a lot.
I think it might have been In-N-Out then.
Shake Shack? Could be Shake Shack.
Shake Shack is good too.
Yeah. I love me some smash burgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but Josh, don't feel bad about yesterday. Don't worry. The moment you guys locked in for meta, I was like, okay. I felt bad for not being able to contribute, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was still paying attention and listening, but for me it was more like I was learning as well.
No, the one moment where I was like, and this is nothing against the boys, because you know I could have that conversation with them all fucking day, but like the moment we started talking about defense, I was like, yo, we gotta flip it back to something that, you know. Holy cow. We were talking about like defense and how to make a defense irrelevant, which is like such an aside from like whatever we were talking about at that point.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was yeah.
I would have actually fallen asleep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Age even keeping her eyes open, respect.
I'm telling you, I literally streamed for like 7 more hours after that, by the way. I was crazy. The adrenaline was going hard.
Let's roll it back a little bit. I mean, I do want to bring some quote unquote like meta-ish topics. I don't want to talk about specifically at the meta, but like, you know, just because I've definitely had my fair share of engagements around like meta discussions that I don't think we've kind of mentioned in the podcast because we've kind of like been sparingly.
If it's the HP inflation, I have no comment on that, brother. I can't tell you shit. All I know is I can clear what I need to clear without my M6 Miyabi, and that's all I care about.
That's pretty good, actually.
But we can get into that later.
You know?
But hello, folks. Let's begin our discussion, because the chat hates it when we don't talk about Zenless, of course. They just hate it. The YouTube comments, right. They hate it. Why don't we kind of kick it off with a little summary. I want to go back to 2.2 in a little bit, but just because it's a little bit more relevant now, why don't we kind of give our surmised thoughts on 2.3?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised by what we saw from the special program, because I kind of had a assumption that 2.3 might have been filler based off of various factors with regards to Lucia and Yidhari and how they honestly have not shown up like at all, with no mention or whatsoever in the story. Because I thought Spook Shack was gonna be like done in 2.1. I thought that was the Spook Shack patch, that was the Spook Shack story. So then when they drip marketed Yidhari and Lucia, it kind of, to me, felt like they were kind of just like throwaway characters, to be honest, because they were completely just out of nowhere, and also did not seem to have too much of a relation to the previous members as well. But yeah, anyways, I thought that maybe 2.3 was going to be filler patch, because 2.2 obviously was huge for the main story. It was basically kind of like the conclusion of the first few patches of main story in 2.x so far. So sometimes, you know, after the big main story patches, they'll have a patch that's a bit more chill. So I thought this was going to be the one. But if anything, this patch actually had even more than 2.2. And so, yeah, I was really surprised. And I was also really happy about the whole kind of Halloween spooky vibes as well, because I always forget that games will sometimes theme their patches that are around Halloween to be a bit more kind of horror-esque. So I always really enjoy it because I think it's fun. So I'm excited about the kind of more like horror-like atmosphere, I guess, to 2.3. And I was very impressed with all the content and the fact that we're getting both a main story that seems pretty interesting and also an agent story too. So for it, hopefully I can finish it before I leave for TwitchCon.
That might not be possible.
Finish
the story at least. We'll see.
You could literally cram everything.
There is no, I severely, if you want to not look and feel dead as when you fly out to TwitchCon, I would recommend just waiting. I'm not touching that shit at all. I'm not touching that update.
And here's the thing, you won't even miss it, or you won't even get spoiled because you're at TwitchCon.
But the thing is, I'm gonna be gone after TwitchCon too, because I'm going to Austin for 7 days, which is why I'm like I want to. Yeah, I'm going to Austin for 7 days to meet up with some other CCs and stuff.
You do realize I'm like 20 minutes away from Austin, right?
Oh my god, like as you can see each other again? Hey, yo.
Flying back to my house? What? That's crazy.
So you guys know I've been a big, shill about these cards and about Anime Impulse. Anime Impulse's last convention of the year is in Dallas in November.
Oh my god, I wish the audio listeners could see what Az just did.
I mean, if you're gonna be there,
I will be more than likely flying out. I don't know.
Going back
to
the
2.3
original thing.
Yeah.
I was surprised both of you were expecting 2.3 to be like a filler patch. When I have a question. When you say filler, do you think story or do you think content wise?
That's the thing. I like to separate it because that allows for like a slightly more like nuanced conversation about things.
Okay, well, you don't separate it on your Twitter posts. So are you engagement farming or are you
100%? It's Twitter. Come on now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I understand. Yeah, because they have said that they're not doing any like filler patches anymore. The small little bit that we got of Lucia in game already was very intriguing, and so I was excited to see like what was happening in this. And in this update, we saw her like domesticating a hottie and doing all this weird shit. So I'm very, very interested in how the story is going to go. Especially considering the fact that the line of what seems to be Sjhoea was in the trailer, which means we're probably going to see the dude who's like the traitor.
Okay.
Of the
yeah. The brother, the horse guy.
The brother. Which do we know that he's a horse? Everyone says that they're a horse. Do we know?
I just saw people saying he was a horse though.
Everyone says horse. I don't know if we have confirmation for that. Anyway,
he's an Uma, okay?
That dude. Because Sarah is also going to be like a big thing, and we know that he's with Sarah right now. But I'm pretty sure it was him that was talking in the trailer. And then obviously with the introduction of Xinguang, his sister, then there was the whole thing with the mayor over talking and like, oh my god, she's the Void Hunter. I thought of a second option. My mind's all over the place, by the way. I'm not being coherent right now at all.
No, it's okay. I'll reel you in.
There was a lot that was happening in that trailer. Yeah. All looked very, very good. When they showcased the new faction Krampus, and then they had the small little teaser of Xinguang. Yeah. They had the mayor over speaking and said, Yi Xinguang of the Yunkui Summit, will you take on the heavy burden of, which everyone assumes because it was the mayor speaking, that he is offering her the title of Void Hunter. And I was thinking about it, and I think it would be really funny if they did that as a bait, and she's not the Void Hunter. Obviously, I do think that is what's happening. There was only one other line that I think that they could take, and it was if, first of all, I don't think it actually is. I know I joked about it on Twitter. I don't think the new weekly boss that we saw, the Night Wanderer, his name is the Night Wanderer, like a sacrifice version of Xian. But if it is, then the fact that they're bringing the sister in, the mayor could be asking, will you take it upon yourself, like the heavy burden of defeating the traitor of Yunkui Summit, Yi Xian? Which I know I'm butchering his name every single time.
No, you're all good.
Whatever. The only other line that I think he could be saying there, I mean, I don't think he's a big enough threat for them to be like, Void Hunter.
To that point, like I wanted to blend the two, right? Like whether or not like that the Nightcrawler guy, whatever, like was a spawn of like, the bigger like sacrificial, ethereal threat alongside a potential other expansion of a part of another hollow, and then Yeshun Guan is going to tackle that, and then through that burdens whatever, there's multiple layers to that, right? Then she will have at the end earned the title of the Void Hunter, which is not her goal, but like the main goal is to tackle whatever obstacles and stuff like initially.
They also mentioned the miasma flowers that are connected to deeper other hollows, which I assume is Hollow Zero, but the fact that they just didn't say Hollow Zero is interesting. So I don't know what hollow that would really connect to, but yes, Idhari was confirmed to be a proxy. Mm-hmm. She's like our first playable proxy, which is kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that was very exciting to hear when they
not Venus, but we'll take it.
Which is also really cool because it seems like we're going to be literally kind of going into Yadhari's dreams or past or whatnot. Don't know exactly how that's going to work, but it seemed like we were basically diving into her past / dream to help save her somehow. So then the fact that she's also the first proxy, and then it's the first time we're kind of like entering someone's brain ourselves, literally, is like, it feels like there's a lot of things that are going on with the Hollow and the Hollow in general, that it's very confusing, especially with all of these new things that are going on. And they also mentioned at one point, there was a voice line, I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were saying how this is actually related to Sarah, like the Hollow or whatnot is where Sarah originated from, something like that. Whether it was either the devs or one of the voice lines, I don't remember which one.
It was
but there was someone who mentioned, it was the devs. They mentioned that this is like we're starting to see into Sarah's origins and Sarah's backstory, and we can all tell pretty obviously that she is going to be a very big villain in the end.
Did they say origins? Because what I remember them saying was that this is like, they were saying this is the start of her journey of having the Exaltist power to try and reach the creator.
Yeah,
so like this is the start of her like power.
Kind of
I interpreted it as
sure
this
we'll
was like
get
her
backstory,
her journey.
But yeah, I think what they were saying is like this is now. Like, she's now in the forefront. Like, she's no longer in the background. This is going to be her in the front, doing a bunch of chaotic until she becomes a boss and not playable.
Yeah.
Okay, then I misinterpreted. Because I interpreted it as we're basically starting to see the beginning of where her journey started in past tense. Is how I kind of like listened or read what they were saying, but we'll see.
Of course, yeah, we'll probably learn a lot more backstory and origin stuff.
But either way, it's like the start of them giving us more information on Sarah and who she is, essentially, and more details into like whatever she wants. So then we're leaning towards her, final, I guess, big bossness appearing sometime in the near future, I would assume.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
For me, two things, and you guys don't know me too much about story, so it's time to break the mold a little bit. Two things definitely stood out to me when it came to like, in particular, a lot about the lore-oriented like teased content. One is definitely us going through the dreamscapes, how ether affects like dreams and like dream waves, or I don't know how you want to interpret that, is a concept we haven't really explored yet. We've explored like how ether can manipulate physics, how it can manipulate time.
We get visions,
right?
With vision as well.
Potentially give visions, which to me is more like a message sent from the future, like through like radio waves and stuff like that. But like we haven't really gone through dreams, which is like another frequency in itself. So I'm very, very curious how we're gonna kind of dive into that a little bit. I don't know if you guys have any comments on that, but one other thing is that they also did mention this from the the story explanation. We are going to a new area that is recovered from a hollow. I don't think we've ever explored an area that's recovered from a hollow.
Did they say that?
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm the king of misinformation, but I'm dead ass sure like we are going, it's either the character story quest or the actual main story quest. I forgot which one it was. We are going to be exploring an area that has been recovered from the hollow because we are eating away into the Lemning hollow and it's shrinking.
So the way that I interpreted that, because I'm pretty sure it's still in the hollow, but what they were saying was that the incredibly rich Lumite ore was basically causing a weird, like, it's not fully taken over by the hollow because it's kind of been like emitting like a counter radiation thing.
Okay.
So things still look alive as if they weren't corrupted, but as far as I'm aware, it's still within.
It's still within the hollow?
When they say recovered from miasma, but it's still within the hollow.
All right, still in the hollow. Okay.
To be fair, during the dev things, the subtitles go very, very quick. So.
Yeah, I literally like what was it? Kate's chat was like question marking me because I didn't hear, or like I misinterpreted the veil mechanic for Lucia. Technically, like also Yari has the veil mechanic as well, but like everybody was like, "What is Josh smoking?" I'm like, guys, it's 3 a.m. Come me some slack, guys. All right.
Yeah, because they're like talking at you, and you're trying to pay attention to visuals, and then also read the subtitles to like see everything. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in one moment, especially when it's really early.
It was. That set was awesome. The little like joke that they did of them being like guess the ethereal, and I was like, I wanted to take it seriously, because I was like, I could guess. I know who it is. And then they were like, it's Lucia. I died. And then they showed the second one, and I was like, obviously it's Lucia again. And then they showed the dev, and I was like, that was the funniest shit I'd seen in a while.
I thought
that
the
was
second
so
one was
good.
going to be Yadhari.
Oh,
So the dev
yeah.
did send me. Like when I saw the dev's face, I was like, oh my god.
It was so fucking funny. Sorry, on your first point on the dream thing.
Yeah.
You are correct. We haven't really done anything with like inherent like dreams, because miasma has shown us a lot of like the vision thing, which kind of seem like dream. Would you agree that dreams are very obviously affected by like emotions?
100%.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's why I think the whole dream thing is a really interesting thing to explore, because we already know, we've talked about it, especially now knowing from what Yishun said, that your like mental state can affect how quickly you corrupt. Ether is very, and miasma is very heavy on emotions, can affect them in a completely innate way. So it's really interesting to see that now we're going into the like actual dreams, which I would say is very heavily based on emotions, and why the space in the dream looks so unbelievably chaotic. Whenever we're like there with Yadhari, just because her emotions on whatever she's like we're going through with her is so strong that it's affecting the reality in a really weird way. Because it's also, I don't know how he's going to play in unless they have a past together, but I forget his name. Starts with a B. Hot, sexy Zenyatta man.
Master something.
Master
Bon
Banyu.
Yu was in the dream thing, like with Yadhari. Yeah, when Yadhari and the Proxy were running, and there was like they kept running. It was Lucia and Monato on the side as they were like running through, but on the other side was Banyu just like standing there. So like he is also going to be playing into that.
Also in like the same vein as well, I think it still looked like they were still within the dream too, but Monato also was gonna see someone like himself from kind of his past as well, so it seems like he's also gonna face his past or whatnot. So then because everyone's in a dream, it might be, then once you enter this sort of dream, it then it takes like kind of your emotions, your own past, your own memories, and then kind of manipulates them in ways to cause whether those are visions, dreams, whatever they are. And so
why it'll be really interesting, considering that we now have a Carol model, if we might see more Carol, because we are also there.
True.
So if we could get more past stuff on us, and also the fact that Yadhari is a proxy, so we can talk to her about the whole proxy thing. But it was already called on Twitter. But obviously Yadhari has a past with Sarah, because Sarah was like literally wrapping around her, and then it cut to a scene. Because whenever she was like her hand was reaching out, if you look at the other hand that's like wrapping around and grabbing her hand, it's Sarah's arm. And then the camera turns around and it's Sarah, but it has like that weird, you know how the models kept glitching from like the neck up? It was Sarah, but with that little glitch thing. And so someone called that out on Twitter of like, yeah, they're clearly like their past is connected. And so I was like, it would be be really sick if she was a proxy for the Exaltists and like led them through the hollows before like whatever, because she has the line of this is the curse that the hollows like placed upon me or something like that. So she's definitely been affected by either the Exaltist or but yeah, it's super interesting. And then there's also baby Lucia, like the baby Lucia walking around wanting to play hide and seek.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's all about. That's in her,
and then there was like the boy that was from her tribe, right?
Yes, the boy from her tribe showed up too. So that's definitely in her agent story. But I'm interested in like why is baby Lucia there?
Yeshun Guang also had a split second where she showed up and she kind of like turned towards the camera with the cool pose. I remember because I was looking for screenshots.
Yeah, that one frame. Sorry, no, it isn't more than one frame. It's like 2 or 3 frames of like.
She looks so. She genuinely looks so pretty.
Yeah. I'm calling it
It's
here,
crazy.
everybody.
Yeah.
I'm calling it here.
The
Move
preview was-
aside, everybody. I will be
Yeah,
the
so you're
number
gonna
one
M6?
Xinguang main. Move aside, everybody.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm still stuck on the. You said Sarah was wrapped around Yidhari.
Yeah,
That
Amongst
is
the other
one
things,
hell
that
of an
was
imagery.
also wrapped around
I'm just-
Yidhari.
basically giving a hug from behind is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where my hug at?
Where my hug
Where
at?
my hug at?
I don't think I would survive witnessing that encounter, if I'm being honest. So.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff with the story, and like, you know, kind of to go back and you know, few steps back a little bit to look at everything, right? A lot of like the filler story-esque parts of it. Nah, this is like, to be fair though, this is quite the sidestep from what we expected in terms of like the next step in our story. Granted, again, we kind of came to a climax little hill here, right after, you know,
Where
the
did you
miasmic
think we were
priest.
going?
That is a great question. That's a great goddamn question. I didn't freaking know. And that's why it
Okay.
seems like it's such
I
a
was
weird step aside,
Okay.
right? Versus like
Okay.
something that's more like just like, oh, we're going deeper into the Lemnian Hollow to, you know, we found something or something, I don't know, or like directly dealing with Jshoea in particular, right? Which we will get to, of course, right? But you know, the dream stuff is very peculiar, and I did mention a little bit in the PPP, but I think this is going to be very, very much needed setup going into the next 2.4 and 2.5. And in my eyes, and I don't know if you guys think the same, but I think 2.4, 2.5 is going to be part 1, part 2 to the finale of like the main-ish story. 2.6 might be, you know, an extra little thing, and then 2.7 the interlude to 3.0, but 2.6.
I'm gonna be for real. I would not be surprised if it was a 3-parter.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Would not to be
Because I
surprised,
know
yeah.
a lot of people are thinking that because Miyabi was released in 1.4,
Yeah.
that Xinguang is going to be released in 2.4.
Mhm.
I do not think that is the case. I if she is the Void Hunter,
Yeah.
then they will have to market it a little bit more. I think it'll have to wait an extra patch. I don't think it'll be till like 2.6 that she gets released, like towards the end, because I think all Krampus will release before she even gets like actually fully here.
Oh, you mean like 2.5?
I
Because
think
this patch is
2.4.
2.3.
I think 2.4 is going. Yeah, I think 2.4 is gonna be Krampus, and then maybe she'll be at the like in 2.6.
Here's the thing. Here's
Oh,
my
wait,
meta
no,
breakdown.
but you mean
2.5.
2.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I genuinely, I'm just like so certain that she's going to be 2.5 because, I mean, this is a little bit more just like meta thinking in terms of like business. But usually companies, if they have something they really want to sell, they'll sell it before January, because January is usually the worst like performing for sales because people have just finished all their vacations, they finished the holidays, so then people don't want to spend money. So then that's why a lot of companies tend to put their really like big things in December, like before the new year. So I do think, especially based on the teasers for the Krampus members that they gave us, that it's going to be 2.4 will be Krampus, like 2 Krampus members, and then 2.5 will be another Krampus member plus Xinguang.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so I like personally, I feel like I'm pretty certain that it's going to be 2.5 where she comes out like Miyabi. So it also is kind of like synced up like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it might not be an official interlude, but it might still kind of feel like an interlude.
Yeah. Yeah. To put my like little 2 cents into it, because, you know, you guys make some great points. With in regards to Jshoea, I would love for her to be like the second banner of 2.4. Understandably, you know, again, if they need more marketing, could be a little bit too early.
Yeah, I don't.
But
There's no wait. People think that she's going to be in 2.4.
She
Dead
could.
ass.
A lot
of people.
I
yeah.
Really?
I
almost
personally
80 to
subscribe to
90% of the
2.4.
community that I
Wait,
see.
I thought what? Really? People are delusional. What the hell? There's no show she's in 2.4. Hello? Wait, sorry, that just registered in my head. I thought we were talking about like people thought that she's in 2.5 because I was like, yeah, I also feel like she's 100% in 2.5.
No,
guys, she's not going to be next patch. Are you guys kidding me? She hasn't even. She's barely show up in this story. Oh, they're obviously going to do Krampus first, and then they're going to do her after because she's the outlier of the upcoming characters. She's the final like member of the upcoming cast. Guys.
Plus, you can't forget the secret Krampus member that they're gonna drop, right? Which is why might push her to 2.6 because you know what? It might be 2 Krampus members in 2.5. The secret Damien banner. I don't know why everyone's forgetting that Damien's gonna be playable. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
My boy Damien.
Of course. No, but to meta it more, right? Like in my eyes, there's 2 possibilities. 2.4, which is the pre-Christmas banner, right? Like Q4 is just generally when people will spend the most. And, 2.4 is right up in there, nice mid-November, right? And very early December. So arguable that if they're really trying to get the ball rolling, they could. But here's the thing.
No,
with 2.5, with 2.5, we could be bleeding into the Chinese New Year patch. So that could be,
which is why it makes sense for that.
Exactly. That's why it does make sense that we could have the, Yeshun Guan within that like 2.5.
Yeah. No, okay. The idols to be teased because they Astra had her little concert thing with EOS for the that was like the whole New Year's thing. That was the New Year's celebration in game. And so if this has been like a full year and then they do that again for that, then it would make sense for the idols to be performing instead of Astra because they said that they changed the performance every year. So if they actually have like any perfect time for them to be teased before released, it would be then.
All speculation, but there's a lot of very good basis in terms of historical data. It's fun to speculate, right, Chad? It's fun to speculate and talk about
and to be clear, we are just like guessing ourselves. We don't actually know anything.
No, of course,
our own predictions.
I don't know. Talk for yourself.
No leaky pipes here.
There was someone who was like genuinely upset when I joined in the podcast that you did at the end of last stream, and mentioned that Isolde was like cooked. Because they said that I spoiled the story, and that like the regular Zenless streams also spoiled the story. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think that counts. I don't think me doing a prediction and then it being accurate counts as me spoiling the story. But sure.
Yeah. I will hate you though. You killed us all, nah.
You ruined this, Az. You ruined it.
All I did was read the book. I read the texts. I knew what was coming.
Read the scriptures, guys.
Actually, Az is the one who wrote them.
You're right.
You guys may not know this.
That's why I dropped the video.
HQ.
Yeah, I'm in the writing team. That's why I dropped the video exposing Bringer, because they were upset that I exposed Bringer too. I had that whole video showing all of the evidence that it was Bringer, and then they confirmed it within the first 5 minutes of 1.4. They literally just had the bro talking on the TV. He was like, what am I doing here?
But yeah, next year is also Year of the Horse. Oh, Element Fire. Okay, because guys, I don't know about Yeshuan and Yeshun Guan if they're actually horses or not. That's just what people were saying. So I'm like, okay, I believe it. They look like horses, I guess. But if they actually are, then it's a kind of like, she comes out end of the year to bring in the Year of the Horse too.
Amazing.
I still don't know. I don't think I've had anyone provide evidence that they're a horse besides just thinking that they're a horse, but I'm taking it. Like, I guess. I have no other idea what
they just serve horse, okay? They have the vibe. They're amazing.
I need to see how fast they can run. That's what I really need to see. Yeah. If they're fast at running, then they're a horse.
Real quick, did you guys see the Genshin?
After running?
There's a Genshin animation where they put like Lauma and a bunch of other Genshin characters on the Uma Musume racetrack. Put it in post, Josh. But it is super cute. I'll show you guys later. In kind of closing remarks in regards to 2.3, I mean, there's so many other things aside from like just the characters in the story that we're setting up for. In particular, the photography event. I know we're all going to be in it for hours on end, just taking photos, and then sorry, go ahead.
4-hour stream the first time. The first photo event, I accidentally was in there for 4 hours. And also, I need to call out one of my viewers because I did a bingo, right? I did a bingo at the start of every update thing. I start doing a bingo card, and if we get a bingo, I give 5 subs on YouTube and Twitch.
Hey, Pog.
But one of the people said, "Oh my God, what is his name? I just forgot his name. The camera's name."
The camera. Oh, I remember. The camera does have a name. You're right. I don't remember it though.
Did not know that.
I remember.
I didn't know the camera had a name.
Yeah, I remember the camera did have a name.
I had it in my head, and then it left right when I was about to say it.
Mr. Click.
Mr. Click.
Oh
Mr. Click. Someone in chat was like, put a Mr. Click event on the bingo. I was like, that's not gonna happen. And then they showed it, and I was like, it was leaked, and you tried to put a free spot on the bingo card. I was like, there's no way you would have randomly pulled out a Mr. Click event like just out of your ass. Yeah. But anyway, yes. And there's
maybe they're manifested. They just really
true. They manifested it. Yeah. They really wanted it. But the fact that they added all the new features to it, and they added the permanent like borders to the regular camera, I cannot wait to see all the photos that everyone's gonna be taking.
I'll host an event. I'm pretty sure you guys will host like community events too. But I definitely want to host an event of like a photography event for the wider community. I think that'd be fun. Oh, just for a little of the meta heads out there, we are getting a new sort of DA styled event that is combat oriented, and that event has us running 4 teams.
It's permanent,
which is interesting. We know Zenless Zone Zero to use these types of events to test things out, especially not only just like other mechanics but like literal characters, and they've tested other mechanics and new game modes and stuff, insertions, etc., even some reworks they've kind of baked into some things. This interestingly sets a new precedent that we might be looking at an extension of some of the older game modes, the Shius, the DAs. They're already doing some little touch-ups with those things that are a little bit more cosmetic, like the crowns, right? Understandably, you don't need technically 4 teams yourself because they'll give you one of the teams to rent out, and then you just have to use other units for the other teams. But again, like whether that
and one of them was optional.
Yes,
one of the stages was optional, so technically you would only need 2 if you rent out the.
So there's there could very well be implications of like this is how they're going to pivot the game mode potentially when it comes to like DA to make things a little bit more accessible, like to have one of these stages like a rented out team for you to try, or like you can just rent out the characters to use in DA, or it might just be like a Genshin situation where they have a dire mode at level 6 where you'll have the harder difficulty of the 3 stages, and they'll add another 4th stage, optional stage for you to do, and if you can complete those 4, then you get even higher, greater rewards. There's a lot of things that Zenless Zone Zero could cook up, but you know,
I will say the optional one doesn't give you more rewards. It gives you more buffs to clear the rest of the event faster, but don't feel like you would have to do the optional one to get like you wouldn't be missing out on rewards. It would just make it a little bit easier if you can do it. But also, because that is a permanent mode, that new thing that they're adding. But it's also interesting that there's story on this, because it's like technically an in-game mode, but there's a multiple ending story.
Yes, there's multiple like storylines with it.
Interesting. I don't really know what that is gonna be like, but I'm here for it.
I think you're gonna be cooked, is what that sounds like as.
Well, at least they said that you can replay it, so I can replay it as much as I need on there. Yeah. So they said you can choose, you can go back and like it'll save your points, so you can go through and just like redo the story itself, choosing the different options. So I'll probably just have a dedicated stream of going through every option and seeing what is actually happening.
It reminds me of Penacony. Don't it?
I don't remember. That was a fever dream to me. I don't remember Penacony.
Literally.
Come on, guys. No. They introduced the box like timeline system, and then you can actually go back to the other POV.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. So I think we can see that very same system, right? We can see that very same system being utilized in 3.0 or maybe late 2.x. I don't know, but I feel like that that kind of timeline system was quite successful in terms of like management, and then also allowing the devs to be a little bit more creative, being to be like, oh yeah, we can have different either POVs or even different endings. So cool stuff. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of cool implications with that event. That's why I wanted to kind of key in on that one specifically. But any other things about 2.3 that caught your guys' fancy?
The free Monato skin, free Monato, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like the skin. Yeah, the Come Monato. I know a lot of people didn't like it just because it was a recolor, but like I'm gonna be for real.
But it's free.
Well, yes, it's free. But also, so is the Nicole one. The Nicole one.
Yeah, I was about to say the Nicole one was also a recolor. It just looks like more different because her outfit is different.
They could so easily. I understand that this one actually has like a lore thing because they said it. They're like, this skin is tied to his lore and like whatever the childhood him promised himself in the future. If they started doing just regular like free recolor skins in like every update, that would be kind of nice. Like that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Just to start giving more options to other like agents without having it to be like a full on, like a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's just like a nice little visual difference from looking at the same characters every single time that you play them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then speaking of skins, though, the Vivian skin came out of nowhere.
Full on neuron activation when she came on screen. That shit was
actually. I was like, wait, why is Vivian here? I haven't seen her in so long.
When they panned to her legs crazy. First, I was like, they're showing her legs finally. Like, huh.
I literally, I was like, God damn. It
like,
looks
and the thing
so good.
Like, the thing is, I also think they've just done such a good job with the summer outfits, because a lot of the times when games will make a, like, you know, swimsuit outfit for their characters that's summer themed, they don't really... It's honestly not that creative, right? Like, they get, you know, a bikini or a one piece and then they add like some extra patterns, stuff like that. But then if you look at how complex her swimsuit is, and then the fact they gave her like a, you know, like a one piece, and then the umbrella also has a recolor.
Yeah.
And then you compare that also to Yuzuha's and Alice's summer skins too. It's just really cool how you can see the characters' personality and interests and own personal style and tastes in the skins as well, which I'm sorry, I'm glazing. Okay, I just really like the skin. What can I say?
As you should.
She's showing a little shoulder to the Proxy, you know what I'm saying? She's showing a little.
Not she even has like a little cutout. Cutout in the middle.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, she has a midriff window. Oh my god! Oh my god!
It is easily the best summer skin in the game. Like, it blows Yuzuha's and Alice's out of the water. Like, it is
Where are
so
the rocket
good.
thrusters? Oh, true. I wonder how her elf's gonna look then.
They showed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So where are they?
Like, pops
where
out. They're like they like expand out of like the back side of the. There's like little pieces of the swimsuit that like dangle off, and that's it. If you see it, it doesn't look awkward. It's basically nano. It looks like nanotech. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, everyone's like, she's actually just farting now, so it is what it is. But,
it is.
Hey, it looks good. Also, I do want to point out, I put it out on Twitter too, but I think it's really cute that Lilac was the one who chose the outfit, who chose the swimsuit for her. That's very, very, very cute, and I would like to see more interactions with them.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of... Oh, I saw someone saying we haven't talked about the new character designs either, like our opinions on them. Did we want to talk about that?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, we talked a little bit on the PPP, but...
Yeah, I mean, with Az too, though.
Yep. Yeah. Now that we have Az here, why don't we get Az's opinion first?
I was very passionate about my stance on it. I significantly prefer the old Lucia design, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I like Yidhari's design. I don't really have any like complaints about it. I was not really a fan of the. It would have been a cool thing to do, but if we're talking like her old one, the nun thing, I was not really a big fan of the nun idea. Or design. So I do like Yidhari's current design. But I did have a very passionate discussion about the Lucia change because I really liked her original design, and this is gonna be the most gooner comment you've ever heard from me. But the fact that we don't get very many characters with small tits, and then we finally got one, and then they took it away. I don't understand why they did that. It pisses me off.
They took it away from us.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. First of all, I like the original boob window more, but if they did the exact same skin change that they have now to what her current thing looks like, but they didn't inflate her boobs by 4 times, then I think she would still look better than what she looks like now. That could be personal taste, because I do prefer them a little bit smaller. But I think it's also funny because I did see, I guess this is leaks, so real quick, her Mindscape art. I did see that on Twitter. And it does look like her Mindscape art wasn't changed. It looks like it was made for the original boob window. Because now it just looks a little awkward. Like it looks like
because they're so much smaller.
Well, no. Because the pose that she's in, it was like for the underboob. Like it was specifically for the underboob, but now it's all covered in the art. Because it's like, it's the new design. Yeah. So that's
dreams, Chad. Dreams. No, we didn't see anything. That was a dream that we had.
Yeah. Dreams. Yeah, dreams.
Plot is justice. Okay, not everyone can be born with big badonkers.
Real.
Medium is premium. They say. Yeah, I mean, for me, somewhat of a Gunnar combat, but not really. Like I love a very, very good face card. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier that all the characters that have been like redesigned so far have gotten updated face cards, and they've been received relatively positively in terms of like, just the higher quality and more proportionate designs, whatever it may be. So that I'm happy about. Definitely the design choices. I have to agree with Az. I definitely would have appreciated the previous designs, and however you want to spin the proportions, that's subjective to each person. Definitely, like even the design itself was already like, we have the booty shorts and everything. It was already a little less inspired than I'd like it to be. And we kind of referenced HSR a little bit, the sensual lawfu phenomena a little bit, right? With all the characters having, very, very similar archetypes of garments and whatnot. So when it came to these characters, I was like, oh, I could have seen her, she's a very, she's a mage character. I would have loved to seen like a really, really like slim type of dress that like, more, female mages like wear, I guess more like conventionally or, in fantasy RPGs that I would have liked to see it a little bit more lean into.
Besides the Gunnar aspect of the boobs, I will say I did see the side by side. And they did update her eyes. They updated her eyes. They updated the like textures on the hair. Her face does look way better now. In the newer model, her face looks way better. Her eyes look significant. She has like way more life in them. Like amazing change. The ears are smaller though, and that's cringe. The ears are smaller, and the hood is smaller. So those two aspects.
I'm most upset about the hood personally because I thought that the big hood for the mage was a really, really cool concept. And I guess you can go into my opinions on it. I am kind of like, I feel like from the Lucia drip marketing already started off in the unpopular opinion camp of I'd never really liked her design like at all. She was drip marketed, and I saw everyone freaking out about how much they loved her, and I was like,
really? That's so crazy. I love her design.
Age is a D1 Lucia hater, bro.
I dislike that color of greenish aqua is like so ugly to me. I don't like the shade of gold they use to complement the greenish aqua.
You do realize you are also her hair color BB right now, right? Because she has like the exact same color palette.
Very similar.
No. They're different shades. No, my point is they're different shades because the shade of her hair is also like my least favorite shade of blue because it's like slightly too cool. And
okay.
But like I don't like the shades that they used for her colors. So then when I look at her, she does not spark joy. And she does not spark joy. I thought that I hate blue and I hate green, or I hate like aqua, I hate dark green. I don't hate those colors. I just don't hate like the shades that they use. So then to me, off rip, I didn't like her aesthetic. Design wise, I was like, obviously there was the whole outfit debate of how are the outfits too similar to, the style of Yishuan. And then obviously her new outfit is even more closer to Yishuan because now she also has a very similar neckline as well. But I actually do like her design more in the new model compared to the splash art for the new design. I do think her model itself looks a lot better than all of the splash arts that they've given us with the new design. Because I really like the semi-transparent green on her front.
You are pointing out
Really?
every single thing I hate.
Really?
The opposite side
That's
right now.
crazy.
Every single thing you just said, I think the opposite. I think the design looks way better in the art than the model. I think it looks 10 times better in the art than it does in the model.
I think the model looks better than the art.
So funny. That's so funny.
Because in the art, you can
wrong.
barely see the semi-transparentness. You can barely see the semi-transparent green parts of her top, and then I think it looks a lot more interesting in the model compared to the art, which just looks like it is literally a recolor of basically the Yishuan outfit. So yeah, I mean, I do agree on the ears. I do think that the ears and the hood, they should have just left those. Those are so cute. Like, upgrading the face card, upgrading the proportions, I think is something they've done very well. But yeah, I think for me, my biggest issue with the redesign is more that it just kind of feels like it's not as inspired, the new design, because I also, like I said, I didn't really love the old design either. There are still parts of it outside of the color scheme that I just did not really find that interesting. But her old design conceptually, I like a lot more compared to the new one, because the new one is just kind of really generic, to be honest. I know Az will hate me for this. I do, at the end of the day, think the new model looks a lot better, not just because of the visual upgrades, but even, I guess, with the new outfit too. Because I did see the old model in the story before, and even her outfit and stuff. I don't know. It was kind of really. It was not my favorite. Okay, to put it politically correctly. But
it's so funny.
But I do agree with you on the boob size thing. I think it's a little weird that they just fucking upped her boob size by 3 cups. That's a little bizarre. And yeah, if they made her new design with her previous boob size, I think I would feel even less weird about it. So.
Agreed.
Guys, HP inflation is real, all right? HP inflation is real.
We did already confirm that the HP is stored in the boobs, so that's where it's
right. That's right.
But that's so funny that you are literally the complete opposite. I will say, I already told chat this. I know we talked about it before, because her banner drops literally the day that we get to the place for TwitchCon. And I know we talked about maybe potentially doing an IRL stream of doing a pool session for her.
Oh yeah.
I cannot have you in the room. If your vibes are gonna be that bad, she's not gonna want to come home. She's gonna be like, there's a D1 hater in the room. The vibes are gonna be so off when I'm playing. She doesn't want to come home.
I have a better opinion of the new model than you do. I have a better opinion of the new model than you do. What do you mean?
I'm gonna give her a whole speech about how I care about the way that she was before, and that she didn't need to change the way that she looked to appease others. I liked her in her original state.
Well, no, guess what? You don't get her original state. Are you pulling for her original state? No, you're pulling for her new state. So you need me there. You need me there.
I still love her either way, because I'm still pulling, aren't I?
I'm just giggling, kicking my feet over here.
Yeah, we have Proxy podcast civil war.
No, but talking about TwitchCon a little bit, just to kind of do a little fun spin-off here. I did need to still look into some food spots that we should hit up. Definitely, I feel like the fast food thing would be a fun idea. What else do we got to do? I just want to go to the fucking zoo. Low key, I feel like zoo might be a waste.
Yeah, you want to
We don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to.
I think you do. That is the third time you're like, I never party. Is this the time I get to go party?
Let's fucking party, guys.
If you need to party, we can party.
We'll party. I will admit though, I've told chat this. At the start of this year, been completely sober.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it because you had a drinking problem before, or just you just don't really like drinking?
I drank pretty recreationally, but then this year I was like, we're cutting it all off, and it just so happens that haven't I mean, I've gone out and hung out with people who have drunk, and I'm just like, I'm staying away from it, but yeah.
No, totally.
It's kind of like a circumstance where I've kind of just been like,
let's not peer pressure you into drinking at.
No, no.
Don't worry,
I know I'm joking about it a lot
or something. No worry, guys.
There's absolutely no pressure.
I'll be perfectly fine.
Okay, I mean, back to one more thing on the Lucia stuff though. One thing that I did think that was not like my favorite thing with regards to them redesigning Lucia was, I guess, the idea that they can drip market a character and then still subsequently change it. This is different from the Hugo situation, because what happened with Hugo was they showed the model in game. They teased it in game itself. And then, so he was clearly still in development. So then people complained, and then they fixed him for the drip marketing for release. Whereas in this case, because they didn't show her at all in the game, yet drip marketing was the first reveal of her character total, which is why they had to re-drip market her yesterday after they showed, had the 2.3 live stream. So for me, I do hope that in the future, rather than drip marketing a character and then changing it due to backlash, they would, tease more of the characters in events in previous patches with their models in the game itself, kind of get the general public sentiment and then adjust like before they actually drip market officially. It's a very like small kind of like semantic thing for me, but I do like it when they, drip market a character for the patch, and then that is the character that, that's the expectation, right? That's the kind of expectation for the final character that people are going to receive. So then it's like, if you want to test people's opinions on the character, then you're supposed to, you tease it in the game beforehand, before they're even officially a character, is kind of my personal opinion on that matter. But this is it is like a pretty small deal, and me being a bit nitpicky, but yeah. I just thought that would be still good to talk about and bring up with regards, because I know that was a big argument that a lot of people had with regards to them changing the drip marketing.
Yeah, and I think the Hugo situation is a little bit different, because it was both what they did it with Vivian's design a little bit too, I think, and then they did it with Miyabi. That was like another big one. But when it comes to like their designs, to me it was more of like an update on the model than it was like an update, not like a remodel. Because even Hugo, like I get it, it was very small model changes. Like it's the same outfit. They just changed like where the scarf was or like whatever. It wasn't like a super big thing. But this one, yes. I don't think I do agree that they shouldn't do this drastic of a change after they've already drip marketed the character, to the point that they had to fucking drip her.
Yeah,
they re-dripped her after the fact. I think it is interesting the route that they took it, because I need to get a little bit more insight on the CN side, because what I saw, the main complaints of her model being when we saw it in game, was the hip to shoulder ratio. Like that the proportions were like a little off. That she was like extremely pear-shaped, and people thought that it looked awkward. So I'm confused on where the feedback was that they needed to change the top and make her boobs bigger, because from what I understood, it was the bottom half of her that people had a complaint with, and they changed the top. So
like from CN
what I think from all sides, from all the sides that I saw, I didn't see a single person complain about the top, or at least to the point where like that was the majority of the feedback. Like I saw 90% of the feedback being the bottom half of her model, not the top. But that's the part that they changed drastically, was the top half of her model. So I'm curious on where, I'm sure it's the CN side. Because it wasn't just CN that hated the first design. There was a lot of people here who hated the first design too, Age being one of them. But I think
I hate it. I just didn't like it. So I was like, okay, I'm skipping, bro. Hey, that's another skip patch for me. I have no complaints.
Yeah, I think it would be more interesting if they took an approach of like literally giving a feedback form. Like stop, like I get it, collect all the feedback from the comments, but be like, okay, if you guys actually want to change, here's a forum, tell us everything that you actually have a complaint about. That way they get direct feedback from people of what needs to be changed on the model. Yeah, I agree that I think it is a little interesting that they did that drastic of a change after they already drip marketed her. Not only drip marketed her, but drip marketed and showed the model in game.
Like I'm sure that if there were no complaints about her, the top part of her model, they wouldn't have changed it. So I can only assume, I haven't seen the Bilibili comments myself, like the CN side, but I can only assume that they were complaining about her outfit, also with regards to her model as well. And that's the thing, I'm not sure if the complaints were like when from the drip marketing or from when they showed the model in game, because we got the model in game this patch, right? So this is only like one patch before she's releasing. Yeah, because I saw someone in comments as well being like, oh, but her model is in the game. But that's not the point. They drip marketed her and then they showed her model in game, right? And then people complained, rather than showing the model like maybe one or two patches in advance before she's even supposed to be drip marketed, and then so you can kind of get the general public sentiment on what needs to be fixed, right? Again, I know that's a kind of, maybe it's unrealistic to expect that of the devs to be so far in advance done their models for the characters, since I'm sure their schedule for developing the game is very packed. But I think you would definitely avoid situations like this, right? If you're going to tease the model in the game and then you don't want to deal with public backlash of it looking whack, then I haven't seen the comments myself.
I don't think it's a bad thing in general for them to listen to the feedback. On
100%.
Like I think overall it is a good thing that if they heard that much feedback that they thought that they needed to change the design. But I'm also curious on how early they made the change. Because it is a little, I don't know. Obviously, they could have like crunched and done overtime. I get it. But all of the in-game art, all of the cinematics, everything is already made with the new design. Which obviously it has to have been because it needs to be coherent. But like all of the comic panels and everything, like they would have had to redraw all of that. Like they would have had to redo every single thing. And we've already seen the comic panels, and obviously it's her new design because it would be weird if it wasn't. So I'm curious on how long ago did they make the decision on what the design was going to be and commit to it?
I have done art before, okay? So I know how much effort it takes to draw. And for sure, they spend a lot of time and effort into making their art. But to change a small part of the art, like her top, it wouldn't take that long. It wouldn't take that long for them to adjust just like the 2D CGs. And then I don't know about the 3D side of things, like in cutscenes and stuff like that, but I can only assume that all they would have to do is do the cutscene with a new version of the model. But I don't know about the 3D side, but for the 2D CGs and art and stuff, it wouldn't take that long. I don't know what the word is, but the uniqueness and funness of Zenless's designs with the East Asian aesthetic. Because I do feel like some of the designs in 2.x so far have just been they've been nice, they look nice, but they don't really feel like they're Zenless characters to me personally. Because it's like I look at some of the 2.x characters and I put them side by side with some of the 1.x characters and they look like they're from different games, in my opinion. Which is, fair. If that's the direction they want to go into, then again, I'm a very kind of go with the flow type of person, which is why usually even if I have opinions and stuff, it's like whatever. If that's what they want to do, they can do it. I don't really care too much. But then they also do have a bit more of, maybe it's the color schemes or their concepts, but they just look, I don't know, to me a lot better.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because they're technically not Phalium, right? They're technically not Phalium Heights. They're just a tops, like they are the people who keeps tops in check. Yeah. So they're not directly like only in that area, which is why their design is not that heavy on like how all the other people have been here, which is why I think people will be a little bit more excited when we move away from the Phalium Heights, because they did already say in the dev interview when season 2 was starting that they are leaving behind the urban aesthetic a little bit for this season because of the fact that it is very like Chinese based, and so they're
and that's why for me it's like not a big deal if they do have a lot of characters that are a lot more Chinese based in terms of their looks, because as long as they hopefully are able to go back to the urban aesthetic in different regions in the future, I'm fine with taking a little segue into a region that's more heavily inspired by China, right? At the end of the day, it is a Chinese game, and they care a lot about trying to represent their culture, and I think that is a beautiful thing whenever games do want to have good representation for beautiful aspects of cultures and stuff. So as long as it's not like from now on, every single character is then going to subsequently continue to just look like I just want them to go back to the urban street style, essentially is my TLDR.
And they will.
I think they will.
I have full confidence that they will. But yeah, because like, for example, well, okay. Obviously, the newer people of Spook Shack, but Yuzuha and Alice, you would, right?
Yeah, actually, they were my favorite characters design-wise for 2.x.
They look great.
Yeah, and that's like I wish Yidhari and Lucia were actually a bit more of that urban look as well, because I know technically there are forums, so they can have people of all different, types and sizes and whatnot coming to join the same faction. But I just like, for me, when I look at a faction in a game, I like it when there is some cohesion aesthetically. And if I put Yadhari, Lucia, and then the other members of Spook Shack side by side, they do not look like a cohesive group to me. So then that bothers me a little bit personally. But again, it's not the biggest deal as long as they don't do that with every single faction from now on, which it doesn't seem like they are, especially with looking at some of the new Krampus members. Yes, Krampus also does kind of feel a little bit like a hodgepodge of different designs though, but it also makes sense like lore-wise for them too, which is, again, like I can forgive it. It's not a big deal.
I do think that it is interesting that they, with both Krampus and Spook Shack, those are the two factions that I think would have the most
variety,
ability to have variety on the designs, because of the fact that it could, like, you could hire anyone from any place to be a part of Krampus technically. Like, as long as they're I forget what word I'm looking for, but as long as they're capable to join, then they could do that.
Their resume is effective.
Yeah. And I think it is interesting with Spook Shack, because yes, I agree, it is really interesting that Spook Shack isn't going to look like a cohesive like thing, but it means that we could very easily get more members of Spook Shack in different seasons down the road in completely different areas. Because of the fact that they're just a forum. That is the one faction that makes sense to be the largest in terms of character quantity. Right now, it's still the Outer Ring, which also is an okay fact. It's the Outer Ring.
Yeah.
It's an okay faction for that to be like have the most people. But I wouldn't be surprised if down the road, Spook Shack ends up being the #1 like faction in terms of character quantity.
Yeah.
And it could be like a cool themed thing per year too. Like next Halloween, maybe more Spook Shack members, because people are starting to get into the whole horror theme again. Lots of potential, but we'll see how they decide to run with it.
Well, 2.3, we talked a lot about 2.3. I know I didn't think we were gonna have the full discussion of 2.3 throughout, just straight on through, because I was like wanting to sprinkle in some 2.2. Honestly, like we've already had our like full-fledged discussion. I don't know if you guys want to do any like last thoughts on maybe 2.2, like as a retrospective.
I will tell you the most interesting parts that I am excited to see be expanded upon. One of them being the fact that they are now it could just be an Exaltus Overseer power, or it could be that the sacrifice stuff is getting like advanced enough. But Isolde was the very first like example of where we saw an actual sacrifice turn back into a human and be fully functioning, because we fought her again after she turned back. That was like the second part of the boss fight. So that's gonna be interesting, seeing more sacrifices that could potentially just change back, and maybe we could have like an actual double agent, like a spy who is a sacrifice, but we don't know because they are able to just like change forms. 2, in the Marcel group maze, the final Marcel group maze, where the giant moon was like, like over the thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, in the final area where you collect the coin to like leave, there's 3 massive seats. And it's like the room was like a big room, and there was a seat numbered 1, number 2, and number 3. And it was underneath the moon. And so the big theory that like we were talking about was like, is there 3 active overseers, or like what's up with the 3 seats? Like, what are these 3 massive thrones?
That's crazy.
That are underneath the moon.
Okay.
Do you think there could be 3 creators?
So that is a very interesting thing. I don't know how to answer that question to you. I don't think so. But it would be interesting if there was more than one creator and they didn't know. Like if most of the Exaltists think that they're talking to the same creator, but there's actually multiple, I think that would be really funny.
Or like just maybe 3 things or gods on the same level of power, that because it's still 1, 2, 3, right? So that could also be kind of ranking as well. So maybe one is the creator, but then there's 2 people of a very similar power level as well that are also part of their plans or whatever they're doing. I don't know what the hell the creator wants personally, but whatever shenanigans are going on.
So yeah, I think those are really just the biggest Oh, and also obviously Sarah now having the Exalted Overseer power.
Hey.
Which we will apparently get into in this story that's coming up anyway. In terms of like 2.2, that was the biggest thing that I was interested in.
For me with 2.2, I was very impressed by, I guess, their pacing and writing, because they obviously had to go into the whole Orphie Magus backstory, but then they didn't dwell too long on it. I feel like they spent a perfect amount of time to give us that information, and then we're still mainly focused on, I guess, the rest of the story with regards to Isolde. Obviously, they're a character that has a very like close relationship to Isolde, so it's a lot easier for them to connect their stories like that. But I do feel like it was very... Like, I was impressed by their writing, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Because as much as I love 2.1, it definitely at times did feel like we were kind of side tangenting a bit. I know it's still connected to the overarching storyline, but I do feel that, you know, sometimes with the Zenless stories, we are obviously approaching one end kind of big overarching plot. But sometimes it really does feel like we are focusing on very like kind of side stories, which just happen to be connected to the main story in a certain way. So I think 2.2 was really, really effective in connecting the character story and the kind of, I guess, quote unquote, side plot with the stuff that was going on in terms of the main plot line. So I enjoyed it very much. I was also very surprised by the Isolde is the thingamabobber reveal, Makarabeth or whatnot. I don't know why, because in retrospect it's so obvious. But then for me, in the moment, I was actually stun locked for so long. I was so shocked.
I will say, shocked. I think I mentioned it in the podcast where we were building the Legos, but it was also, I don't know if they retroactively went in and changed it or not, but we went, when I went through and was reading all the descriptions after I finished 2.2, we realized that if you actually go look at the Overseer in the enemy dossier, they are the only enemy that is listed in the ethereal section, but when you click on them, is actually categorized as human, not a sacrifice or an ethereal. But the one where she is a sacrifice, like the one that we had when we actually fought her in 2.2, it is listed as a sacrifice.
I mean, I think that makes sense.
But because, the fact that it was listed as a human was very interesting. Organic. That's what it was. Yeah, organic.
Organic. Oh, yes. Okay.
No pesticides. But yeah, hopefully they can keep up the writing. Because I mean, for me, I feel like after my initial disappointment with 2.0, 2.1 and 2.2 have been very, very good. So I have really enjoyed them. And I am very curious to see, how they're going to play out 2.3 specifically. If it's going to be kind of more like 2.0 with regards to a, kind of a bit more of a side story that's also connected to the main story, or if it's going to be like, okay, this is like the next part of the story. We are going balls deep. So we'll see.
Oh, speaking of HI3, sorry, this is such a side point. Did you guys see there's a trend going around to check out your birthday number of Nindroid?
Huh?
You just look up the Nindroid.
Oh, I want to do that now. What the heck?
I looked it up.
Easy.
So like if your birthday is like,
is it month,
February
month, day, or
16th,
day, month?
It's 4 numbers. So
is it month, day, or day, month?
Yeah, sorry. It's month, day. It's month, day.
Okay.
I don't know why I answered that.
Alice Synthesis 30? Who the heck is this?
I got...
Josh, what's your birthday?
マジで私に恋しなさい. I don't know what that is.
February 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm November 5th, and it's Alice Synthesis 30. I don't know. Oh, from Sword Art Online. Which season?
Oh yeah, that is Sword Art Online. Yeah, that's from the new season. That's from
Is that
the newer seasons.
Damn, I wish it was
like Alicization. Yeah.
Wow. I only know the older seasons.
But anyway, I just thought it was crazy that out of all of the Nindroids, I managed to get Kiana.
It's pretty good.
It's a good season. Okay.
Yeah, Alicization is actually like somewhat of like a redemption of.
Was it? I stopped after watching.
I mean, I liked the first season, okay, but it was one of my first.
You should watch it. You should watch the end. It's not something groundbreaking that you need to watch now, but like, hey, before we go to some of the tangents, because like
Josh, your thoughts on 2.2.
Yeah, there was definitely some like outside media stuff that I want to mention as kind of like, you know, tag along to what we were just mentioning. But two things about my recap. One, definitely you guys pointed out already, was the seed story. Definitely loved it. For me, I'm a very like in the moment, I like to like process a lot of like feelings. So like I wasn't necessarily like one to like directly cry, because like I was like going through like kind of the stages of grief real time with everybody.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still felt, you know, the whole fucking 9 yards of it, and it was definitely one of my favorite stories to date. And then I got to actually chat with Justice.
Have to watch.
Yep.
I absolutely
very
will have to
cool.
watch.
And then last point, which is not necessarily story oriented, and kind of a recap of my kind of content creator experience. I'll touch just a little upon it. I don't want to get too much into the details, but definitely the HP inflation stuff and the creator drama, you know, needs to be a little bit addressed. And to the wider community, and this is kind of the stuff that we've kind of reconciled with already, that amongst the other types of like creator and gacha dramas out there, I think this one was very, very quickly resolved, just because a lot of it was due to like people poking their heads when, you know, we didn't need people poking around, and things could have very well been just like talked about earlier and yada yada yada. But not to get too much into like the weeds of the drama, overall, if you guys are more meta oriented combat / players, you know, there are a lot of issues in particular with HP inflation, and there's a lot of like layers and, you know, reasons why combat and just in general endgame is feeling more difficult. But there's a lot of different arguments and ways in which, you know, us as CCs or leading CCs around combat oriented content that we post to you guys as players, for us to empower you guys, whether it's, you know, for you guys to learn new tech, learn how to build, you know, learn how the boss mechanics work, or, you know, even just in the greater sense of just being a community member of you guys using your voice in a more positive forward direction, versus screaming at each other and echoing the same crap over and over, which tends to happen a lot in the gacha communities extended as well, not just CZ. The one thing I definitely came away with that whole conversation is that empowering the players is incredibly important, because at the end of the day, that's all we kind of want to do as creators, to show you guys different possibilities and you know, to give you guys an enhanced experience of the game and feel engaged within the community.
Yeah, and I feel like we kind of have like different aspects of that here amongst us too, right? Because you do a lot of meta stuff when it comes to combat, and then Az and I, you know, we talk a lot about the story, and then so it's just about different ways of being able to also like enjoy the game alongside all the other players, right? And then I guess as creators, we kind of are in a little bit of a spotlight, obviously. So then being able to gather people who are, you know, also enjoying the games or want to learn about, you know, how to play the game better, or even just want to just enjoy the story and have these discussions to help enhance everyone's experiences as a whole. You know, it's always fun to be able to discuss your passions with other people rather than just, you know, playing it by yourself. Like for me, as a creator, I have honestly found myself enjoying the gacha stories so much more compared to before I started doing content, because it's just really fun to be able to experience the story alongside others who are also really, really having a good time. So
Yeah, I would have to definitely agree on that point, because like I played HI3, or half of my HI3 like career I did offline, because it was like before I did content. But when I started making content on it, it was significantly more enjoyable to play the game, because I was able to have people there like with me, and I was able to talk about the story, and having the like video record of your journey through the game is also really nice to have. Like I know that's more on the creator side and not really on like the viewer side, but having that like time capsule of seeing my experience through it, like especially with Zenless specifically, just because I hard pivoted everything to Zenless when the game came out. just because it grabbed me by the throat. Going back and even seeing my initial reaction to like the very first beta of this game, and then seeing the changes, like all of the changes to the game as it went along, is super, super sick. But yeah, I do love interacting with the community. I will say, on my end, I can't really like say that I have experienced the things that you guys have experienced, because my channel is significantly smaller, and I don't have as many eyes. So there's not that many, like, for example, like Age, the thing that happened to you shouldn't have happened. I think you like, it was such a tiny little, like, I'm talking about season 2 launch. That was so silly.
I know
That was so silly. I don't think that should have happened. But
no, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's a learning experience.
It is. It literally, don't tell your true feelings. That's what you learned.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just well, for the most part, I think there's a lot of tribalism that goes on. I usually try to avoid all tribalism as a whole, but then sometimes, the tribalism comes to you. So what I did was, I said my piece, put out the fire, and then I blocked everyone on my channel who continued to be tribalistic, and then it's been peaceful.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as it should be.
Funny enough, because I didn't talk to you about this, Age. My videos started getting just bombed.
Oh, really?
I saw your tweet today. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's a different tweet.
No, from around the 2.0
from the HP inflation arc saga. Like, yeah, so like I didn't directly experience what you got, but I basically got, the classic drama experience.
Like the most recent thing that just happened? Like
no,
oh my God,
it was like one or two of my videos during that like week span that just like, it was so funny because like the video had like an even amount of likes and dislikes because
wow, really?
which is not bad for a drama oriented video, right? And then boom, it was, I was looking at the metrics and it was a crazy like 400 to 500 dislikes, and I was like, wow,
you're talking this is like through
crazy.
The initial HP inflation?
I think it's, yes, maybe my truth or my reaction to HP inflation or something like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, Josh, I thought you were saying that you got bombed like during my situation because you were associated with me. I was like, oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I'm staying with you though.
No, but I mean, I am still very sorry that you had.
Yeah, but I didn't talk to you about it. But I thought it was funny to bring up.
I guess I just don't have
there's pros and
enough
cons,
takes. I think that's what it is. I think I need to throw a hot take out there.
Yeah,
there's one thing that I figured out. People there on both. I crazy. TikTok and the official Zenless Discord, specifically the lore side of the like official Zenless Discord, I guess like low key hate me because I did the tweet not directly saying that it was like a headcanon that Belle dyes her hair. And when everyone took that tweet blew the fuck up. That one had like 2 million views.
I remember that, yeah.
Like it went crazy. Yeah. Everyone took that as like canon and started running with it. And everyone who knows that that's not the truth is like stupid fucking content creators spreading like false information. And so and that's like, I think that is the most like hate that I've ever had, and most of it I don't even see because it's in places that I don't check, which is awesome. I'm glad that it's in places that I don't see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean that just kind of that comes with having an audience at all, right?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
So
that and
there's pros, there's cons.
The other thing of like oh, this guy is people will obviously recommend me as like a lore channel,
sure,
and then they'll be like, oh yeah, like I want to check out lore,
yeah, and
then I'll see them saying that they went to go check out my channel and that they were disappointed because I don't upload videos. Because I barely make lore videos. I like the ones that I do make, they're bangers and they're like on important topics. specifically like the 5.5 hour lore video. Obviously, that's like my baby right there.
Magnum opus.
But I don't post on a regular basis. If you want the lore, you have to go through and watch me yap on stream. That's the lore side.
We need to invest in an editor that knows lore, so you can write your script and they can just put in the cutscenes or whatever for you.
Don't worry. I said I was going to lock in when I got back from Japan, and I'm already locking in. I'm now dedicating every single Sunday to being like specific creators.
There you go.
Or, like content creation days. So I'm only spending Sundays for like writing scripts and like making stuff for videos. That way I can just start like posting those like once or twice a week. And while those are posting, then I'm making new ones. The reason a lot of the time that I don't make lore videos is because to me, I'm like, it's literally not important enough to make a video about. Like it's such common knowledge. But then I'll see someone make a video
pick random
about
enough topics.
Yeah, because then I'll see someone make a video about like the most like fucking mind-numbing obvious thing. And I see it gets so many views and all the comments are like, oh, like I didn't know that. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So
how did you not know that?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of my videos that I will be doing is just going to be, I guess, essentially taking the 5.5 hour lore video and making them into like individual videos.
There you
and
go.
Then just posting
go
them.
More details.
Because people do still see the 5.5 hour thing, and it's like, I don't know, it's a lot to take in. I guess they see the 5.5 hour timestamp and they're like, no thanks, I don't want to watch that. So
here's my suggestion.
People want more bite-sized things nowadays.
Exactly. My suggestion, and you probably already thought of this already. Series, of course, you know, series. Everybody loves a series. Faction lore series. That's easy.
Oh,
I
you
had
get
that before the
faction
game
lore,
started.
bang
we're
lore.
printing money right there.
Here's the thing with that. Here's why I did not continue that, because I did do that before the game launched.
Sure.
I had a Cunning Hares like faction guide and a Bellabog Bellabog Heavy Industries guide. But the problem is the shelf life on those is so fucking short. Because the amount of times that we get a shit ton of new lore, like if you go back and look at my Cunning Hares one, to be fair, I do talk about the fact of like, hey, Anby could be a clone. But like now we have the entire backstory. Yeah. And now like if you go to watch that, it's like, oh, this video is so
Then
outdated.
that's a new video right there. That's a new video. Come on.
Yeah,
it's the fucking wheel.
I know. But see, and that's the problem I think I need to get over. It's like when I see stuff like that of like, me just remaking the video of updated info, I'm like, I don't know. I see it as scummy.
You feel like you're wasting time.
I feel like I'm farming. No, not that I'm wasting time, but that I'm farming views for like shit content. Like, like I don't know.
No, you've not seen shit content, brother.
Doing reactions is farming views for shit content. Oh, let's watch this new trailer, guys.
Only post reactions. Yeah.
No, but yeah.
Yeah. And I do think a big one is, and I can say huge dub to Comfy Blue. If you guys have not watched Comfy Blue does also do like lore content. Specifically makes a ton of lore TikToks, lore shorts, and those always bang. And that's something that I absolutely do need to do, is making shorts, because I feel like that would be very easy to create a shit ton of like I don't want to say low effort, but like low effort
easy
versions
or like
of the,
quick
because it could be like a 30-second 45-second like, oh yeah, these are the characters' backstories. Like, did you know that Gracie's parents, went into they were Hollow investigators and then got lost in a Hollow, and that's why she wants to go into robots, because she wants to replace like humans going in and losing their lives. But which, by the way, that's such a watered down version of that.
Yes,
do not take that as like how I would do that video. But it's also slightly inaccurate what I said, but it's okay.
Don't worry. You gotta clickbait them. See, you gotta reel it in. You gotta gaslight
Yeah, you have
them.
to have a wild ass thumbnail.
Exactly.
Okay?
Wild ass thumbnail. The first 2 seconds, you need to either like hit him with some crazy, or you gotta rage bait him or something. Like that's how people the retention.
Here's
that's
the thing.
No, you
retention.
open up the video. Open up the video with a Gunnar shot of the character,
that too.
and then
There
I
you
can
go.
do
There you
that.
go.
I can do that. I will never open up the video, even though it is absolutely the way to get views. I cannot open the video or have the video thumbnail as like fake rage bait. I can't do that.
No, not rage bait. Not rage bait.
You
Like,
don't necessarily. Yeah.
like
There are some that do
Gunnar,
that,
how do I describe this? Let's say, for example, I
There's
think
some that
like
do
the
that. I
short
wonder
that
who.
I want to click on the most. It's like you title it, okay, fun fact about like Grace, for example, right? But then the thumbnail is
It's her feet.
a shot of Grace, like her feet or something, just something really like degenerate.
Yeah.
And people will click the hell out of that. I don't know if you're planning on putting your face in it as well, but if you're also putting your face in it, then you also make a funny face. Make a funny face too.
There you
People
go.
click that shit like crazy.
Act like I'm licking her feet. They would click it immediately.
There you go. There you go.
Because then it's like kind of like half clickbait, right? It's like fun fact about Grace, and then people are like, oh, feet, but then it's actually about Grace. And then
Oh, feet.
no, but that is the line you have to kind of tread when you are
exactly. Put the
line
arrow
of
pointed at the
meaning.
feet in the thumbnail, the short thumbnail.
But yeah, you kind of have to tread that line of clickbaiting. But then for me personally, I do feel bad lying, right? So I don't want to lie with my clickbait, which is why I try to kind of go in between where, okay, we'll have it's like clickable, but then I'm not going to say a falsity, right? I'm not going to like rage bait with something untrue or whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know. Sorry guys, I gotta start farming you. I'm sorry, chat.
It is what it is, guys. It is what it is.
No, I think my idea of how I want to start doing the lore content is going to be what really explodes my channel. It's just really hard to get the start of it going. But once I'm able to get a good foundation of how the process of getting it to work, and then also having more faith in the people that I'm hiring to work on like creating the comics and like potentially animations of like some of the story that I want to like showcase. It's gonna turn into a lot of my videos will be like probably the like small shit posts, because the big videos, like the ones where I do have it through like I have the artists like actually draw the comics and hire the voice actors to do everything. It will technically be under, those are big productions, and I do have Vanity Productions now registered as a company, and it will be filtered under Vanity Productions as opposed to just like Azrial.
Vanity LLC, baby. Stonks.
Azrial Vanity is also registered as a business now, but and I will probably post the first couple like on Azrial Vanity, like on the Azrial Vanity channel, but eventually I'll be doing like smaller stuff to get like the actual Vanity Productions channel up till it's like monetized, and then start posting the like big productions probably on there. But
got a businessman over here.
Businessman.
We'll see.
Somehow.
Dude, let's get both of you as
Yeah,
a voice.
get me on there.
Let's have you voice it. Yeah.
Let me try voicing someone. If you guys ever need any like help with music stuff, I mean, I can't play the instruments myself, but I do know a lot about how to make covers and things like that.
Swag.
Because I've done that.
Okay,
So.
we can do a team effort. I can get Nicole and Scotty to do the
Yeah, I was also gonna yoink Nicole and
And
Scotty.
y'all know how to use FL Studios.
I use Audition.
Oh, okay.
Audition, Reaper, Melodyne.
Words.
Audition,
You
the ones
just
that you
said
just
words
listed.
to me.
I was gonna say, well, to be fair to the chatter, if you are actually wondering, probably not much longer.
Yeah,
I assume we are.
Yeah,
wrapping up.
Yojimbo. Yeah, I have been streaming for over 6 hours. That's a solid stream right there.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
marathoning.
that's a solid stream.
So, on Seed's banner, when we were waiting, when it was like at the start of stream, okay, we were waiting for it to like come, like the service to go online or whatever. All of chat was like, "Yo, pull with your feet, pull with your feet," and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna pull with my feet." And so then they're like, okay, well then show us your feet. And I said, as a joke, because keep in mind, my community doesn't like, there are a few in the community that do gift subs all the time, and I love you guys for it, but I don't get gifted subs like often. And so I jokingly said 30 gifted subs and I'll show my feet. And it was the fastest 30 subs I've gotten in my life. It was within like, what was it, like 10 minutes, I think? There was 30 gifted subs. And so I immediately looked up what TOS was of showing feet on stream. And the TOS is just that it just can't be fetishized. Yeah. And so what I did was I walked into my office and just stood there for a second and like did a little like thing and then walked back to my chair, and that was it. They had to zoom in. They had to do the enhance. But I did do it because I did give 30 subs. So I have officially sold out. Yeah, I sold out my feet for gifted subs. You go. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, if you're selling out for feet, you can.
Hey, never for free. Never for free.
Never for free. That's right. That's right.
How much to show feet on the podcast? 1 bit. My goodness
that's gonna
gracious.
have to be that's gonna have to be a group discussion. Maybe about like 250, 300 subs, maybe.
I'm trying to raise. I'm trying to raise funds for Japan, guys. So you know.
Yeah. No, I'm not showing my feet again. I'm not doing it. No. It was fun while it happened, but we're not doing it. Anyway, enough about feet. Thank you guys for all the gifted subs. I appreciate it.
We're moving away from feet, guys, and now to the midriff meta. Okay.
Oh,
we're in the
midriff meta is so good. Finally, a meta I can
characters, void hunters. They all have.
Oh my god.
Good meta.
I know.
No.
Midriff is so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
The past 3 months was literally the feet meta, though. Think about it, right? We had like Seed, we had for Columbina, like a lot of characters were just.
Does Columbina have a midriff?
No, not midriff.
No, feet.
Oh, feet.
Yeah, she has like the weird ball and like disc slipper, and then like her dogs are all out.
Oh,
like,
that was her.
People going freaky during the summer.
I only saw the screenshot of the feet part, like of that being like the heel. I never saw it attached to the rest of the character. I did not know that.
What about the thighs? Don't you know they save lives? Well, every meta in Zenless is the thigh meta. It's just that the thigh meta is the main meta, and then we have other metas in addition to the thigh meta.
Exactly. It's like we have anomaly, and we have rupture.
And then now we have HP inflation. You know,
HP
for the top,
inflation. So. That is right. It is a concern that we are closely monitoring. I am very closely monitoring the HP inflation. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
As a front runner, content creator, don't worry. I will lead this charge.
Yes, he can the meta, you know. So you have to, so he can.
I have to keep up. That's what it is. I have to keep up.
Bonju will start the thigh meta. True. Bonju's thighs were crazy. Oh! My chat is blowing up. They want me to ask what tattoo. They said ask Age what tat she's getting.
You're gonna tat?
Oh, I already got it, but I'm just getting it touched up. Okay. I mean, we just talked about showing feet on stream, but it's literally an ankle tattoo, so I have no choice here.
At least put socks on.
Put the socks on.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least put socks on. You cannot do this for free.
Oh. Like, yeah. So it's a crow, because my entire stick with my VTuber is a scarecrow, and then chat are my crows. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how to get it closer, but so it's like a crow, and then it's holding a little sun hat with the red ribbon in its mouth.
See it. Yeah. Oh, that's really cute.
Because my VTuber also has the sun hat based off of this with the red ribbon. So
yeah.
That's what the tattoo is. So you guys are always on my body. Sorry, that sounded so weird. Never mind.
And with that, folks, we have Age ending the podcast. You ended the PPP with the just, oh my god. Folks, thank you so much for watching this Proxy podcast. Make sure to check out our channels on YouTube, Twitch, everywhere else in between. And if you're on Spotify, because I haven't highlighted the Spotify, listeners at all. There's a couple of y'all. I see y'all. Don't worry, I see y'all. There's a couple of y'all. Small handful. There's a couple of y'all, and y'all are mighty. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to to the Proxy Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.